Okay, so I'm trying out this Bosch Athlet Pro Animal today. Here's the accessories that you get with it. You get a spare brush bar, looks like a spare filter. Haven't really found out what this bit is yet, but I'll have a look in the instructions. The floor tool for an animal cleaner, well, you've got these two, so there's no rotating brush bar, which I'm a little bit surprised for an animal cleaner, because they generally do have that. Obviously the main part has a brush bar, but yeah, let's see how it performs. Okay, so porridge and cookies test. Going to use Bosch on the turbo mode, so the strongest it will go on. It's fully charged. Okay, so I didn't pick up the cookies, but what I'm going to do is go backwards, lifting the head, and see if that works. Okay, so they're all gone. But that is a bit more work than I find with the Shark and also with the Dyson. It's actually quite grabby on the carpet. Now if I try on a lower setting, yeah, that's not grabby at all. But I don't know how much suction, no, it's not getting the little bit. So let's try the second setting. Yeah, so the first two settings, well, the first setting it didn't seem to pick up very well at all. The second setting wasn't too bad because it was picking up and it wasn't grabbing the carpet too much. On the third setting, you really are really putting some pressure on to move it forwards and back, so it's really grippy, but obviously using the strongest setting. But certainly the floor tool, which it doesn't have any lift on it at all, so it just seems to push larger objects around, which obviously the cookies are larger than you'd expect. But with things like dry cat food, which I pick up on my Dyson, the fluffy head, I think this one's going to struggle with that sort of thing. The weight is lower on this, so it puts less stress on the wrist. But when you put it in the higher levels, you're pulling and pushing it around, and it doesn't feel like a cordless cleaner, but also if you have larger objects, it's what you do to get this to pick up the larger objects, because if the floor tool's not doing it, so there is a way of using this without the floor tool. So my main issue with the Bosch is if you want to use it other than for floors, so if you want to use the upholstery tool, if you just want to pick up a big object, so usually on other machines you just pull out a hose or put an attachment on. So with the Bosch, what you need to do is, there's a button on the back here which you push in and remove that bit. Then you've got to put this bit on, which is the replacement for that. Then you've got to take the floor tool off, and this happens because it seems to be that if this goes on in lots of different angles, then it tips back up through the machine. Now obviously this is excessive because of all the oats and stuff, but still dust and little bits of grit and stuff like that, all of that will appear. So then we have to put this bit on, like that. And then what we end up with is a strap, which we can put on like this. And then we've got our tool, so we've got our stairs tool and our upholstery tool. So let's use the stairs tool for this mess that's here. But also the button, it's just not well thought out really. So the button is all the way back here. So if I flip that to maximum power, nothing happens. Oh, right. the pickup is alright. So as you can see, it picks up, but just as a machine to use, I mean, this is quite heavy on the neck. The pipe seems a bit too long for the job at hand, so if you're doing stairs or upholstery, it just seems a bit too unwieldy and it doesn't recoil or anything. But also, if you do this a few times, the contents of the bin seem to come back down through the pipe, and as you shake that, things come out. So yeah, I really thought this was going to be one of the better cordless machines. There's more bits coming out, but just this whole faff of pulling things off, because I was thinking this was more going to be a machine for maybe someone who was a bit older, maybe had weaker wrists. So because the weight was more towards the lower part of the machine, I thought, because occasionally I get people who don't get on with the Dyson because they think there's a bit too much weight on the wrist because the machine is up there occasionally. But on this machine, this looked like it was going to be much lighter because of this design. But overall, I just don't think it gels together well. It's certainly made nicely, and the bin, is easy to take out and put back in. But using extra tools with it is not good. And when it's on a high power on a carpet, it's actually very hard to push. Now you could lower the power, but yeah, overall, I would choose a Shark or a Dyson. My number one choice still is a Dyson at the moment, so a V8 I think is the best machine that I've tried. But yeah, so not that impressed really. Alright, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe.